Where the Lakers were all in on the UConn head coach, but they couldn't entice him with their 6-year, $70 million offer. Instead, Hurley will return to the Huskies to chase a third straight champion. Let's get it. This week, Hurley spoke on what it might have taken to get him to say goodbye to UConn.
But to leave a place at any moment in your life, I think that, like, to say that it's not a motivating factor, the finances to leave a place is definitely a thing. To leave all that behind, there probably is a number. I don't know what that is.
Windy, windy, windy. Were you surprised the Lakers didn't make an offer to Hurley that he couldn't refuse?
Yes and no. So the way he articulated it there, that it's very hard to want to leave UConn, and that wasn't his motivation, but there's probably a number. Maybe not in those exact words, but you would have to assume that that sentiment was communicated to the Lakers, either by him or by his agent, who, by the way, represents many NBA head coaches. And so, on one hand, I'm not surprised because the Lakers have, on one hand, I know he didn't really want to leave UConn at the end of the day. But on the other hand, I know that the Lakers at times have lost out on bidding for coaches because they haven't been willing to pay. And if you heard that sentiment and your reaction to that was to make him an offer that didn't even make him a top 5 highest paid coach, I mean, I don't know I don't know how I can help you there. They did pay Phil Jackson. It took a lot of years. It took him leaving the franchise and coming back after 3 titles, and they were falling on their face. They did finally pay him $10 million a year when he came back and won his second 2 titles. And at the end, he was making $12 million. But it took a lot to get him there. They got outbid for coaches a couple of times in 2019. And I'm not even going to sit here and tell you that I think it's a horrible look for the Lakers, because they have proven that what's most important is talent, and drawing talent is where they've got to spend their money. But they were serious enough to make this effort to go after Dan Hurley, to bring him out, to actually offer him the job. And then knowing what they did, what he just communicated, and making an offer like they did. The problem was, Molly, it was never about money. The Lakers needed it to be at least about money. And clearly it was never about the money, because they never offered high enough for him to consider it that way.
It does make the Lakers look bad. Right? Over the last 4 years, Wendy, Stephen A., Molly, the Lakers have been dysfunctional. And when you look across the league, okay, when you have the players and then you add the pieces around your franchise players and then you put in the system and then you take off from there. Hurley was the best available guy for this job. There's no way in hell he flies to L.A. and you let him walk out of that, and you let him leave and go back to the East Coast and think things over with his family. He's not leaving L.A. without signing and having a press conference if I'm in the front office or if I'm Jeannie Buss or Rob Pelinka. At the end of the day, you want to build for the future. That's been the problem for the Lakers over the last 4 years. Really, anytime you have a LeBron James-led team, you're always going to look at the now, right? Did Frank Vogel, did he deserve to get fired? Absolutely not. I understand. Him and Russell Westbrook didn't see eye to eye, but that wasn't Frank Vogel call. That was a LeBron James and Anthony Davis call to bring Russell Westbrook in. Okay, Darvin Ham, did he deserve to get fired? Absolutely not, in my opinion, but he did. So, I mean, at the end of the day, you're not going to blame AD, you're not going to blame Braun, and you damn sure not going to blame Rob Pelinka, even though Rob Pelinka knew that this Laker roster wasn't good enough to make a deep run in the Western Conference. You have to have a coach in place. You have to have a foundation. I thought Dan Hurley was the perfect guy for this job. They should have never let him leave out of L.A., and now they're back to where they started from. So now they're going to go out there, and I'm not trying to disrespect J.J. Redick or Sam Cassell. I would love to see those guys get a shot, but they're not Dan Hurley, right? And I'm not saying Dan Hurley has an NBA resume, but what he has done on a collegiate level shows me all type of signs that he's destined to be a good coach or a great coach in the NBA as well.
I'm not surprised. I'm sorry. I am surprised that the Lakers didn't make a better offer to Hurley. But the reality is none of us should have been. And that's the caveat that we have to throw in there. Now, obviously, I'm a little bit different than Brian Windhorst and Kendrick Perkins. So let me show y'all how a little bit different I am, because you know me, and if you know anything about me, you know where I'm going. Where is the Lakers franchise? Where does the Lakers franchise reside? That would be Los Angeles, right?
Crypto.
You know where I'm going, Big Perk? What state is Los Angeles in? That would be California.
California.
So you know me. You know where I'm going, right? So we understand it's the sunshine, it's Tinseltown, it's the beautiful weather of Southern California, because I can't stand the weather in Northern California because it's similar to New York. Why the hell fly all the way to Northern California when I could get the same weather in New York City? That's just me. But Southern California, now that weather's special, okay? They know it, and as a result, you have a weather tax. That's what they call it, okay? Why do I bring that up? When do you know this? Federal income tax rates, about 37%. Do you know that I made a mistake? You know that I made a mistake, y'all? State income tax. I've been walking around talking about how it was 13.3% to be exact. I forgot that as of January 1st, it went up to 14. It went up to 14%, 14.4 to be exact. So the 37 plus the 14%, that's just federal and state. It don't count all that other stuff, right? Okay. Oh, by the way, I got the article. I got an article right in front of me. Did you know that not only that, but there have been several proposals over the last few years to increase the rate to 16.8% income tax rate in California? This is true. If you're Hurley and you're coming from Connecticut and you're counting the dollars, because clearly he was, and you're Jeannie Buss and you're Rob Pelinka and you're the other members of the ownership group for the Los Angeles Lakers, how in God's name do you come to this man with a salary that's ranked 6th for a 2-time reigning national champion who's universally recognized as the best coach in college basketball today? Why would you do that? It makes no sense. So I'm looking at it from that standpoint, and I'm saying, my Lord, we know you missed out on Ty Lue. We know Monty Williams went to Phoenix instead of coming to you. We know you lucked up with Frank Vogel because he ultimately delivered the chip, but then you booted him out the door. Darvin Ham takes you to the conference finals. Then next year you get rid of him. And you make all of this noise knowing that at least 51% of his money is going to come out of his pocket. Now, if Stephen A. Smith can sit up here on national television and break down tax rates that is directly going to impact his wallet, how the hell did not somebody in the Lakers organization not know that? How did they not figure that out? We know they know better. What they thought is what they've always been guilty of thinking. We're the Lakers. Mm-hmm. And because we're the Lakers, we might be able to get away with something that others might not. And what Danny Hurley did was say, no, you do not. You don't get away with that. There's better options. And it could end up being the best thing that happened to the Lakers because maybe, just maybe, somebody will wake up their finance folks. This ain't about basketball, y'all. Rob Pelinka don't have any control over what was offered to Danny Hurley. We know that decision, dollars, comes from above. And damn it, it might not be just Jeannie Buss. They got to get their act together and get with the times. You